Have you ever just stopped to think about what happens when you type a website name, hit enter, and the page just appears? I mean, it feels instantaneous, right? Like magic. But what's really happening is one of the most incredible high-speed journeys in the modern world. So today, we're going to slow things way down and follow that journey step by step, from your click to the content. Seriously, think about it. We do this all day, every day, without a second thought. But behind that simple, almost mindless action, a lightning-fast global chain reaction is kicking off. So what is actually going on in that split second between your finger hitting enter and the page loading? Because what you see is the seamless, instant experience. But behind the curtain? Oh, it's a completely different story. It's this complex conversation between computers, zipping through underwater cables across oceans, running security checks, downloading raw files, and building the website from scratch right before your eyes, all in the blink of an eye. Okay, so let's start our journey with Act 1, and it begins with a really basic problem. Your browser knows the name of the website you want, but it has absolutely no idea where on earth that website actually lives. This is the very first question your browser has to answer. See, we humans think in names, like example.com, but computers, they don't. They think in numbers. To find anything on the internet, they need a specific numerical address, kind of like a street address for a server. And this is where something called the DNS comes into play, the Domain Name System. The easiest way to think about it, it's the internet's phone book. That's its entire job, to look up the human-friendly name you typed in and find the machine-friendly IP address that goes with it. And what's really cool is how smart this lookup is. It's not just one giant book. First, your browser checks its own memory, its cache, thinking, hey, have I been here recently? If not, no big deal. It asks your computer's operating system. Still nothing? Then the request goes out to your internet service provider's DNS server. And if that server doesn't know, it will ask other servers around the world until it finds the answer. It's the super efficient cascading search. And boom, just like that, Act 1 is complete. The name has been translated into a number. Your browser now has the exact address it needs to actually start talking to the right server. So we have the address, we know where we're going, but we can't just ask for the website's files yet. First, we need to make sure the line is secure. It's time for what's known as the digital handshake. And this step is absolutely critical. Your browser needs to verify 100% that the server it found is the real deal and not some imposter. And it needs to make sure that no one can listen in on the conversation. This is all about building trust and ensuring privacy. You see the proof of this every single day. You know that little lock icon you see in the address bar of your browser? That's it. That little lock means you're using HTTPS, and it's your visual confirmation that the secret handshake was a success and your connection is totally private and encrypted. And this breaks it down perfectly. The whole thing is basically a quick, polite conversation. Your browser says, hello, are you who you say you are? The server shows its ID, which is called an SSL certificate. Your browser checks that ID with a trusted authority and says, yep, looks good. Let's invent a secret code that only you and I will know for this chat. The server agrees, and now their entire conversation is private. It's safe to start sending files. Okay, on to our final act. We've found the server, we've secured the connection, and now the server starts sending over the raw materials. This is where the digital assembly line begins, and your browser has to turn a bunch of code into the beautiful web page you see. Now, this is a really important idea to get your head around. A website isn't a single finished thing like a picture. It's more like a recipe. The server doesn't send you a finished cake. It sends you the flour, the sugar, the eggs, all the ingredients. Your browser is the chef that has to follow the recipe and bake the cake. The very first ingredient is always HTML. This is the absolute foundation, the skeleton of the page. It tells the browser what the content is, like this text is a main heading, this is a paragraph, put a button here. Okay, so if HTML is the skeleton, next up is CSS. This is the presentation, the style, the design. CSS tells the browser how everything should look. What color should that heading be? What font should we use? How much space goes between these two paragraphs? CSS is what makes a website look good instead of just being a black and white document. And the final main ingredient is JavaScript. This is the muscle, the nervous system, the brain. JavaScript handles all the interactivity. Anytime you click a menu and it drops down, or you play a video, or you fill out a form and click submit, Yup, that's JavaScript in action, making the page come alive. And what's just amazing is that your browser follows this exact assembly order every single time at lightning speed. First, it reads the HTML to build the skeleton. Then it reads the CSS to apply all the styles. Then it runs the JavaScript to make things interactive. And finally, once it knows what everything is, how it looks, and how it behaves, it paints the final pixels onto your screen. So there you have it. What feels like pure magic is really just a precise, incredibly fast and repeatable method. Let's just quickly recap that whole incredible journey. That entire process we just walked through, from you typing the name to the final page appearing, usually happens in less than 500 milliseconds. That's less than half a second. It is literally faster than you can blink. So just think about what's packed into that single blink of an eye. There's a global address hunt using DNS. There's a secure encrypted handshake with HTTPS to build trust. And then your browser turns into a high-speed factory, assembling all that code in real time. It's just phenomenal. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The internet isn't magic. It's a triumph of engineering. It's billions of computers all over the world, all agreeing to follow the same rules and cooperate with each other perfectly every single second of every day. So the next time you load a web page, maybe just for a split second, appreciate that invisible high-speed dance of data. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? If all of that is happening in the blink of an eye, what other incredible invisible systems are powering our world, working perfectly, just hiding in plain sight?